Hey Geography peeps, so as you guys know, October makes the 1-year anniversary of Geography Now. It's been an amazing ride, and we're gonna finish, and this is the last episode. Just kidding! No, but seriously, I love making these Geography Now videos. It's great, I love doing the research, hosting the show. It's a lot of work, yes, but I love doing it, so I love geography, and I'm glad you guys love geography too. So for those of you who've been following on social media platforms and everything, we did mention that we're gonna start a new segment on Geography Now called Geography More. Sometimes on Geography Now, the things that get written in the scripts or are filmed don't always make it into the videos. So this is a series in which we talk about special extra information that didn't make it into the videos for each country. Now, as you guys know, we started the series with Afghanistan. Nonetheless, with the arable land that it does have, Afghanistan is still able to produce some of the world's best produce, including pomegranates, almonds, apricots, and poppy. That's right, for the past few hundred years, Afghanistan has been a leading nation in opium production. That video was so bad. I'm sorry. Oh, that was my first time working with a camera, and I didn't even know how to do the audio. It was terrible. It was terrible. See how far we've gone? So anyway, in this segment, we're gonna talk about the extra information that didn't quite make it into the videos, and it's just a little kind of like a extra information segment. So the first one we're gonna do is Afghanistan. One thing I really wanted to kind of mention in the Afghanistan video was the national sport. It's called Buzkashi. This sport has few rules and little regard for safety. Basically, it originated with the Mongols, but then it was adopted and revised in Afghanistan, and the Afghanis started playing it. And today, it's basically a game played on horses in which the players have to grab a goat carcass and drop it off at a designated chalked off circle area. It is regarded as one of the wildest and most dangerous games in the entire planet. Doesn't that look crazy? Also, another cool thing I found out was that Afghanistan just opened up their first theme park, Kabul City Park, in 2014. This place has some typical modest carnival rides like Ferris wheels and merry-go-rounds. The place actually draws in tens of thousands of visitors every month. It's crazy, and it's actually kind of flourishing. Afghanistan also has their own Bruce Lee impersonator. Martial arts expert and enthusiast Abbas Alizada has been following in his dream in being a professional Bruce Lee impersonator and martial artist. He looks pretty similar, doesn't he? He looks pretty similar. Also, one of the most notable places in Afghanistan would have to be the Bamiyan Caves and Highlands. Some of the world's first oil paintings were found here, and it had a flourishing Buddhist civilization all the way from the 2nd century until Islam dominated the area. In this area, you could have found huge Buddha statues, and it was a World Heritage Site until unfortunately in 2001 when the Taliban destroyed them. There's so much more about Afghanistan. It's an incredibly colorful place that not many people regard as interesting, but it's actually pretty fascinating. Now let's move on to Albania. Now here's something I really wanted to mention in the Albania video, but I just didn't have time for it, and whatever. But one of the most fascinating things about Albania is that it's the only place in the world where you can still find sworn virgins. Centuries ago, the areas in Albania and pretty much the Balkans had a very strongly patriarchal society in which women had few rights and privileges. However, there was a loophole around it. If a woman took a vow of chastity, she would be allowed to pretty much act and dress and be treated like a man for the rest of her life. This meant that she could own property and be the head of her household and drink beer and smoke cigars and talk with men just like she was one of them. There are many reasons why women did this, partially because some of them wanted to avoid marriages, some of them had no men in their households, and some of them just felt like they wanted to. It was one of the few acceptable cross-gender social structures in all of Europe. National Geographic's TV show Taboo did a great documentary on this. It's estimated that a little over 100 sworn virgins still exist today, and they're mostly localized in the mountainous regions of Albania. Also, I can't believe I did not mention this, but Mother Teresa was Albanian. Okay, so she was actually born in Skopje, the capital of the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia / Macedonia, depending on what you call it. However, ethnically, she was of Albanian descent. At the age of 12, she felt like she was really strongly called to join ministry, and that's where everything we know about her started. Alright, now let's do Algeria. One thing I really regret about the Algeria video is that I never really got the time to expound on the vast physical properties of the country. See, the Sahara isn't just sand, it's a geological candy store that has mind-blowing attributes that would take anybody's breath away. First of all, one of the most unique traits about Algeria is that it has Lake Sahel El Mela in the Bejar province. Probably screwed up all of that pronunciation, but hey. Lake Sahel El Mela is an endorheic salt lake. That means that the lake has a source coming in, but no source coming out, so it gets stuck. The funny thing is that it's trapped right in the middle of the Sahara, so the site is such a bizarre, stark contrast between water and sand that it draws in thousands of visitors that come every year. However, I personally think that one of the most fascinating things in Algeria would have to be in the Elizi province close to the border of Libya. In this area, you can find the bleeding rocks of the Tassili n'Ajer, again, pronunciation, I know, send all complaints and comments to this address. Desert in which the sand has a dark blood red shade. As a UNESCO heritage site, this place has dark plateaus deeply cut by former rivers that dried up thousands of years ago, as evidenced by the prehistoric rock art that was made when the area was inhabited. The images depict images of cattle, wild animals, and plants, indicating the era when this area was a savanna with more humid temperate zones. You know, before the Sahara came and dried everything up. So those were just a few things I wanted to mention for the first 3 videos, Afghanistan, Albania, and Algeria. But yeah, we're gonna do more updates on information that didn't go into the first videos. So yeah, stay tuned, and this was the first episode of Geography More. Hope you liked it. Stay cool, stay tuned.